If this Michael Cohen evidence stands up, if Michael Cohen does testify to this, this is potentially something that can prove the president colluded.
That evidence on its face, if it was supported, would be an impeachable offense. That would be an article of impeachment, no question about it.
This is very damning for Trump.
There's criminal liability here for the president on the horizon with these claims.
Well,
is that
a
true?
lot of laughter.
Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's attorney, former New York City mayor.
I've been sitting here looking in the federal code trying to find collusion as a crime.
It's not.
Collusion is not a crime. Everything that's been released so far shows the president to be absolutely innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. The last two tapes are evidence in his favor. I mean, he wants to do a transaction by check, wants to do it as a corporate transaction, perfectly legal. Second one, he describes in great detail the Stormy Daniels deal to Cuomo, and he says the president didn't know about it. The president only had the money. I paid for it myself. It wasn't a campaign contribution. Now, Cuomo didn't know he was being recorded, which is pretty outrageous. In fact, he went so far as to hide his cell phone and pretend he wasn't recording it. And then Lanny Davis goes on and says Cohen never intended to deceive. Now, if I tell you I'm not recording and I record, haven't I intended to deceive and in fact deceive? That may be a punishable offense for all those morons out there.
Were any of them doctored?
I'm not talking about the audience. I'm talking about the idiots they saw on the screen.
There are reports that they've been doctored, some of these recordings. Is that
Well,
true?
there's no doubt that one of them is cut off. If you take the one that was played here numerous times last week, it goes something like this. There's got to be financing. The president's very surprised, which indicates he didn't know about this transaction. It's financing. What do you mean financing? Cohen says, well, we got to pay. And he said, not by cash. Interruption. Cohen says, no, but... And then Trump says, check. Immediately, it's cut off.
Click.
Next thing you hear is Don Jr. He must be talking to Don Jr., but that's erased also. So yeah, he erased him, sure. And the expert is going through it, trying to figure out a few things that can be very hard to figure out, like, is this a recording of a recording? Did he cut it off at the time? Or did he go back into his little laboratory or whatever the hell he had and cut it off?
What does that say? All these recordings, you said there's 183 tapes, but only one of which includes the president.
Yeah, that's pretty strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
183 recordings that we have. There are innumerable other recordings of other people having nothing to do with the Trump organization, which will give you an idea what a scoundrel he was. I mean, I never knew this about him. I up until a month ago, 2 months ago, I'd have said pretty nice things about him. My opinion of him has turned on a dime when I found out he was a lawyer recording his client. Well, fundamentally, that's a disbarable offense.
But he can't be disbarred because you waived the right. You listened to all of them and you said you can release him?
We waived it only after he released him. Only after
He released him and then you waived
it? Yeah, he gave out a leak to the press. The New York Times ran the first story. Maggie Haberman and Mike Schmidt. They have categorically said it wasn't the Trump people who leaked it. Well, the government didn't have it. There's only one of the people that had it.
Well, why did you even waive it if it was
because it's
released?
Innocent. It's completely innocent. There's more on the tape.
It actually exonerates.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong. And the other stuff on the tape is equally as useful to the president. And we were hoping we could suck him into getting out the other tapes because they're really, really good. The Cuomo tape you should just listen to. It's everything you've heard for the last year about the Stormy Daniels transaction, including the fact that Cuomo didn't think she was telling the truth because she lied 3 times.
What about the suggestion from Michael Cohen that he is willing to say that the president knew about the Don Jr. meeting in Trump Tower with the Russian lawyer?
I think Lanny Davis may claim that he knows about the Kennedy assassination and that Trump is somehow involved in it. I mean, it's wild, crazy, and they're out of their minds. He did not participate in any meeting about the Russia transaction.
The president.
The president did not. And the other people at the meeting that he claims he had without the president about it say he was never there. And there are at least 4 separate witnesses who say that against a guy who's been kind of proven to be one of the biggest liars in America.
Mr. Mayor, I read your body language on this almost. It's almost like, I mean, come on. How much more
this is the theater of the absurd.
Yeah.
The president's innocence, having done nothing wrong, has been proven over and over again. There's not a single stitch of evidence of collusion. He didn't have anything to do with Russians. He made no deals with Russians. He didn't get elected because of Russians. They may have colluded with somebody else or with themselves, a whole bunch of them, 13 of them, 14 of them. Kind of watch the Americans and you can watch the Russians collude. I mean, they do it for a living. And they also do other things. But he wasn't involved in it. The obstruction thing is crazy. He had a right to fire Comey. That's what it's all about. He had a right to say to Comey, give Flynn a break. There was no investigation at the time. And not only that, he didn't tell him, don't investigate him, don't prosecute him. He asked him to exercise his prosecutorial discretion because he was a good man with a great war record. I've been asked that as a prosecutor many times. Take the man's whole life into consideration. Either go easy on him, or maybe this one you can pass on. And you do sometimes, and you don't.
Michael Cohen, what's in it for him? Why is he doing this?
Michael Cohen is afraid of going to jail. Now, here's where I'm at a loss. I don't know what he's afraid of going to jail about. He shouldn't be afraid of going to jail for anything somebody thinks he did with us, because he didn't. He didn't commit any crime with President Trump, nor did he commit a crime with anybody around President Trump that I can discern. There are a lot of materials, more than concern us, in boxes and everything else, that concern his taxi medallions, his bank loans, now, I have no reason to believe they're illegal. I also have no reason to believe the government didn't have probable cause to raid him. So there's something there we don't know.
You know, so many people, Rudy, are looking in, and it's all just kind of glommed together. It's hard for people to keep track. Oh, Michael Cohen, how's that react to all this?
Yeah, I know.
Because we've been talking about it for so long. When's it going to be over? I mean, we've heard stories, maybe even from your camp, that it could be the end of the summer. Then they might take a break through the election.
Well, I mean, if we had anything to do about it, I would ask the special counsel to put out his report and show us what he's got. You know, show your hand. It's long enough now. The country's
the final report, or just a
final? Get it over with. I don't know. Make your case to the Justice Department. You have to continue to investigate. I think you're going to find that there is no reason. Look, think about this. You could investigate an innocent man forever. If you decide he robbed the bank, and he didn't, and he proved to you 50 different ways he didn't do it, you look at 51, and then 52, and then 53. Then you try to get somebody who knows him and prosecute the poor person for tax evasion. So they say he robbed the bank. That's what's going on here.
Do they tip their hand?
How about tweets?
Do they tip their hand? Do they say, you know, we're really close to the end now?
How about trying to create the new crime? No collusion.
Okay.
Now we have obstruction by tweet. Whoa. I don't think the Congress had it. Yeah. I mean, obstruction happens this way. Hey.
Where nobody knows
there's a gun.
Right.
It doesn't happen by... He has 80 million followers?
Got a lot. 80 million more than me.
Real quickly, what did you make of that Philly mayor? Did you see him dancing? We wanted to ask America's mayor what he thought about this. Dancing because they became a sanctuary city and now he wants to abolish ICE.
I don't know what he had to drink or take or whatever. He looks a little wacky. I mean, what kind of condition is Philly in? I don't really know. As a city, I heard the thing about Chicago. That's a tragedy city.
That is a tragedy.
I don't know about Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia.
There he is dancing.
But I don't know what kind of condition it's in.
But you know what it takes to put a city in a good condition after what you did with broken windows policing and really cracking down. If you're celebrating not working with federal law enforcement,
well, I think if you're celebrating illegality, you're giving everybody the wrong signal. I mean, mayors shouldn't be celebrating violating, having their city violate the law, even if they're civil in nature, or even if they think there's somehow a locality can defy a federal law, which constitutionally is wacky. But I mean, you see them out there, and it's all political. It's not. I mean, instead of being a mayor, he's being like a silly clown of a politician.
It's true.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Rudy, thank you very much.
All right.